Well, hello everyone. I hope you're okay. Today we are here to discuss Sonnet 130. My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. I hope you have your copy on paper so that you can take down notes as I explain this sonnet to you. Before we start with the reading and analysis of the sonnet, I would like to give some background information to this sonnet. First, let us recap. Remember that we said that Elizabethan sonnets, Shakespearean sonnets, were poems written in 14 lines. They were divided in 3 quatrains and 1 final rhyming couplet, and they were written in a specific metric, in a specific rhythm, which is called iambic pentameter. We have also said that Shakespeare wrote hundreds of sonnets and that he addressed different topics, yes, and different people in his sonnets. There is a group of sonnets that is addressed to a lover. There is another group of sonnets that is addressed to a dark, exotic lady, and there is another group of sonnets that is about old age and Anne Hathaway, his wife, yes? So the sonnet that we are going to analyze is about a dark or exotic lady, okay? We don't know who she is, but this is very clearly stated in the poem that he's talking about this dark lady. Something important, something else that is important to be said about this sonnet specifically, this one that we are going to read, is that it is interesting because Shakespeare breaks the convention of English literature at that time. Yes, in this sonnet he rebels against the system, so as to say. He criticizes the way writers, the way poets write about women and how they glorify women. Not because he has something against women, but because maybe it's not so real what poets were doing at that time, that Shakespeare also did it, but in this poem he will make a hyperbole, an exaggeration of the beauty of this woman that is not actually beauty, or at least it is not considered beauty in the eyes of the Elizabethan society. Yes, because it goes against the standards of beauty of the Elizabethan society. Remember that we discussed what were the Elizabethan standards of beauty. That girls had to be white as snow, they had to have red cheeks. Remember that we said that they would put on lead as a foundation, and then they would have holes on their faces because of that, and they would also put on makeup on their breasts, yes, because it was like fashionable to do that at that time. Really red cheeks. They would also wear some golden wires around their hairs, yes. So all of these things, he goes against them. Remember that at that time poets would be writing about women saying, oh, my lover is more beautiful than 1,000 summers, and she looks like the sun, and she looks like the moon, and I am the moon, and she is the sun. So there was this glorification of women. So Shakespeare writes this sonnet, and he goes against this convention. You will see now why. We're going to listen to Rick. I forgot his name. How could I? Snape, Alan Rickman from you may know him from Harry Potter. Snape, yes, he used to speak beautiful English, and we are going to listen to him reading this sonnet. If you don't have it, please, I need you to have the sonnet with you so that you take down notes. I'm going to share a screen with you, and I'm also going to share sound so that you can listen to this while I play it. I hope it works. You see? So we listen to the sonnet so that we first read it and then we analyze it, okay? Here we go.
Mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses damasked red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. And yet, by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare.
Okay. Let's see if we can do an analysis line by line. I hope you are not panicking. Yes, we are starting to read Shakespeare. It's normal if you are panicking, so don't worry, okay? We're going to listen now. We're going to analyze line by line each quatrain. Yes, remember that each quatrain is a stanza made out of 4 lines. Yes? Notice, before we go to the line by line analysis, notice the rhythm pattern, the rhythm scheme. We have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G. I want to take a second to explain this because I know that some of you are struggling to understand this. Each letter is assigned to the last rhyming sound. Each letter, yes, I will label each sound with a letter. In this case, wait, I'm going to I don't know why I'm not presenting this. In this case, we have the last sound is sun. So I'm going to start with the first letter of the alphabet, A. The following sound is red. It's different from sun. So sun, red. So as it is a different sound, I'm going to assign a different letter, B in this case, because it's the letter that follows. Dun rhymes, or it's the same, almost the same sound as sun. So as the sound, as the last rhyming sound is the same, I'm going to assign to it the same letter that I assigned to it at first. And head rhymes with red, so as it is the same sound as red, I'm going to give to it a B. Yes, and then in when we go to the following stanza, we cannot continue with the same letters because we have different ending sounds. Yes, and as the sounds are different, for each sound I have to write a different letter. So white, I'm going to give to assign a C. Cheeks, it's a different sound. It's not the same as white, it's not the same as head, it's not the same as dun, red, or sun. So I'm going to give to it the letter D. Delight rhymes with white, so again I'm going to label it with the letter C. And Rix rhymes with chicks, so I'm going to label this sound with the same letter as here, letter V. And the same goes on for the following stanza. No rhymes with go, and sound rhymes with ground. And finally, we have the final rhyming couplet, which is GG, because we have the same sound in both in both sentences. Rare, compare. Okay? If this brings any questions, make sure that you ask them to me. Yes, but do not don't hesitate in asking me questions about this, because one of the questions for the final exam may be asking you to analyze a sonnet and to do the rhyming scheme. So make sure that you understand this, and if you don't, you can ask me, okay? Now, yes, let us go to the analysis of line by line. First quatrain. My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. In this case, we have a simile because we have like. Whenever this is explicit comparison. Explicit comparisons are called similes. My mistress' eyes, the eyes of the person I'm describing, are nothing like the sun. So this is quite an opening for Elizabethan times, because he's saying, look, I'm not going to compare my mistress to the sun, because her eyes are nothing like the sun. Yes? So they are not captivating like the sun, which may be rather real, because whose eyes are like the sun? Yes? If we have to be real about it. Coral is far more red than her lips red. So her lips are not red. Yes? And this goes against the convention as well, because remember that at that time it was the convention was to wear red lips. Yes? And it goes on with the colors. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. Yes, so snow is white and her breasts are dun. Dun is a blend of gray and brown. Yes, so that's the color of her breasts. Again, going against the convention of how pale women had to look at that time. Yes. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. So here the idea is that she has thick curly hair. Thick curly hair. And also at that time ladies would wear golden wires to decorate their hairstyles. And here the idea is that she has black wires growing on her head. Yes, and so her hair is messy and it's not delicate. Okay, this is the main idea. So the first 4 lines are this big opening saying that this lady, my mistress, the lady that I love, the lady that I like, she's very different from the women that we see around. Especially, I'm talking in Elizabethan times, okay? And it goes on, and we have in the second quatrain the lyrical eye. For the first time, we read that we have the author of the poem as the protagonist of the sonnet. Yes? And he says, I have seen roses damasked red and white. This is an important element because the rose was the symbol that identified the Tudor monarchy. Just a comment. Yes? So here what the author is saying is, I have seen roses of different colors. Yes? But no such roses see I in her cheeks. So she doesn't blush in any color because the color of her skin doesn't allow her to blush, because physically for some people who are darker it's impossible to blush. This is what, blush is sonrojarse. So this is what he's saying. I have seen roses of several colors, but I have never seen that color in her cheeks. And in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. Okay, very peculiar choice of words by Shakespeare. Yes, here he says, in some perfumes, I like some perfumes and I find them more delightful than the breath that from her mouth reeks. Reeks is a very strong and disgusting verb to be used in poetry. People wouldn't use this kind of words in poetry. Reeks means that it stinks, que apesta, que huele feo. Yes, so he's saying that her breath stinks. Yes, this is what he's saying. Yes, and I think that we should all compliment Shakespeare in being honest about it. Yes, and not and what I said at the beginning, I think he's being real and he is trying to go against the convention to prove maybe that sometimes in sonnets are describing women as if they were goddesses, and we will talk about that just now in the following quatrain. And maybe women are not so much like goddesses all the time, yes, and we know this, yes, we have all our days, and maybe we can put on some makeup, but we know that we are no goddesses. And I think that what he's trying to highlight is the humanity of women, and the fact that he likes her even if she doesn't meet the beauty standards of the society, which makes Shakespeare a lovely person, to be honest, yes, and someone we should all want to meet someday. Okay, let us go to the following quatrain, the last quatrain. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that the music has a more pleasing sound. Yes, here hath means has. Yes, this is Old English. So I love to hear her speak, yet I know, I am aware that music has a more delightful, a more pleasing sound. So I love to hear her speak, but her voice doesn't have a musicality. She's not good at singing. She doesn't have a delicate voice. This is what he is stating. I grant, I swear, I never saw a goddess go. I have never seen a goddess in real life. My mistress, I have never seen a goddess in real life, and I have never seen how a goddess walks. Because this is the idea that sometimes in sonnets, poets compare women to goddess, but who has seen a goddess? This is, I think, what Shakespeare is trying to say. I have never seen a goddess go. I have never seen how a goddess transports herself, but my mistress, when she walks, she treads on the ground. Treads means that she walks heavily, that she stomps on the floor. Yes, she doesn't walk delicately. Okay, and the final rhyming couplet. And yet, so in spite of everything, or of all the things that I have mentioned about her, and yet by heaven, I think my love is rare. I consider that my love is valuable. My love is like nothing else. As any she belied with false compare. So here what he is saying is that when I compare my love for her, it's different to the rest of it's not similar to the way other people love women. Why? Because it's not plagued with false compare. Yes, he's not misrepresenting the person that he loves. This is what he's saying. My love is unique because I love you just the way you are, and I don't have to compare you, or I don't have to disguise you with false comparisons in order to like you. Yes, I like you because you are real. I would die to have someone saying this to me. Yes, because it's absolutely romantic and beautiful that someone considers you beautiful just the way you are. And this is what is amazing about Shakespeare, that this was written 400 years ago, and he was able to somehow fight against the convention of that time. Okay, so wait, let me stop sharing the screen. I hope you have liked this sonnet, and there are many more. We won't be analyzing all of them, of course. It's for us to start understanding the language that Shakespeare used before delving into Macbeth. Oh, I have mentioned his name. Okay, never mind. See you. Bye.